This week's message, I'm just doing a little recording on asking questions. It kind of always surprises me because I have students who I notice are being shy about asking questions, and I didn't notice it before, and so I'm just trying one more time to reach out and talk about what's the best way to ask questions and get answers, and then just talk a little bit about the differences maybe in how you're asking, whether you're scheduling a call or just sending a question. So I try to build this in many ways. In the math lessons, this is the page here. I just picked up a random lesson. On the last page, I almost always say, do you have any questions? Because when I get these notifications in my email box, they help me a lot. I'm just going to go to one. When I get the notification that you finished it, I can see here what lesson. So I know who's working on it, I know what lesson they're working on, and I can see what questions they have. So when questions are sent to me this way, I go, as soon as I see the lesson, I go over and I'll answer it. You can see this was sent today, so I go to that chat and I can we then discuss those questions. So here were the A-level questions, and there's our talking about them. And I hope this is okay to kind of show one student's questions here. And you can see just how often, so some of you are feeling like shy, like I asked too much. You don't. You can see that we have almost a daily, we discuss almost daily. All right. So when you ask a question in a lesson, I'm going to come as soon as I can into Teams, and I'll answer that question for you. When I do this, I'm not necessarily going to wait for you to respond because I don't know if you're there. All right, so if you see this, let's say 10 minutes later, and you write something back, don't be surprised if I'm not sitting at my computer right at that time, because I might answer it and then, right, like right now I'll show you. My inbox is empty, right? I have no assignments to grade. I'm going to go to a staff meeting here. There's no way for you to know perfectly my schedule, and there's no way for me to know perfectly your schedule. So if you send a question in this way, then maybe we're not synchronous in terms of answering it. Another way to ask questions is, this is maybe more for AP Psychology, is you just send me, I just had a question here. Wanted to know about this improving memory, and you can see sent at 4:54. I'm not always on my computer in that time in the afternoon. I'm usually working here in the mornings, but I keep my computer on, and you can see answered it very quickly. We were all done within 2 minutes. All right, answering and asking. Now, if I didn't know if you stayed, maybe you have a follow-up question, and maybe this way of answering and asking questions takes a little bit of time. All right, there's other ones where Ryan and I are hardly ever on at the same time. So there'll be times where, let's see, he asks me a question and there's delays between it. So not so often, but sometimes he asks me questions when he's working, he likes to work late at night, and so I answer it the next day. So this is one, right? Either in your lesson or you send me the question on Teams and I'll ask and answer it, and maybe there's give and take in the time. The other way to ask a question would be to say, I want to schedule a question. I want to schedule a time. So you can see today, I only have one scheduled meeting. I have a staff meeting in the morning, and I have one call scheduled in the afternoon. And this is when you have a longer question and you want my undivided attention. So when I schedule a meeting, I'm not going to multitask. I'm going to make sure that your questions are answered. And this would be because you had a little bit longer thing to do. So if you're on a math lesson, right, and you can't get the number of points you need because you're struggling with that lesson, well, then we're going to need to schedule a time so that we go back and forth. And in this, it could be a call or it could just be a chat. And I would expect you to stay there answering my questions right away so that you're not making me wait. And you should expect that I'm answering your questions right away because we scheduled that time to work together and we're not multitasking or doing other things, making each other wait. So that's the kind of how I handle asking and answering questions. And, make sure for all your QVS teachers, what do they want? And know that we're here to help you, okay? I want you to see that there are huge amounts of chat going on with lots of students, okay? So lots of students, I ton of stuff going back and forth here. So don't ever feel like you shouldn't have questions or that you're asking too much. All right, just know that there's two ways of kind of handling. Is it going to be with a time delay, or is it something that you want help with immediate and we're going to have a scheduled call? All right, hope that was helpful. Have a really good weekend.